So everyone has a why. At least everyone that loves what they do has one. So I'm here to tell you mine. My name is Vinny. I'm a trainer certified by the National Academy of Sports Medicine. I'm also a certified nutrition coach. And I have a burning passion for fitness, nutrition, just changing people's lives, helping them feel confident in their bodies and come to enjoy the process of working out. As a trainer, I feel like the most important thing is to be able to relate to people because I've been on the opposite end of the spectrum where I hated how I looked, and I'm here to help people that are in that same situation, make that change. Everyone deserves to look in the mirror and be happy with what they see. Everyone deserves to just be happy in general. When you're happy with how you look, you're full of good energy and you just glow different. I feel like everyone deserves to feel that. And no, you don't have to have the craziest transformation. You don't have to become like a supermodel. You don't have to have 6% body fat to feel that way. That's not true at all. Sometimes, if you don't even see results, just when people start the journey, start the process, just when you get your body moving, you just feel so much better, so much more happy, so much more confident. As hard as the workouts might be, as hard as a nutrition plan might be, making a difference in someone's life, knowing I'm making them happier is what keeps me going. But anyways, let's get into my story. I'm going to tell you how I got into working out, how I ended up becoming a trainer. Was it planned? Not really. I've always had a love for fitness. I've always had a love for athletics, sports, everything active. If you would have asked me in my high school years if I was going to be a trainer, I probably would have said absolutely not, especially considering that I've always had a lot of social anxiety. And here I am years later. I'm training boot camp classes filled with up to 40 people. It's changed my life, dude. Being a trainer, I'm not only helping other people, which makes me so happy, but I'm improving myself on a day to day basis. I'm getting out my comfort zone. I'm talking more. Social anxiety is pretty much non existent now. Even non training related, I could just have a conversation with anyone now. It's a beautiful thing. Like, once you force yourself outside of your comfort zone, it shows you how dangerous the comfort zone can be because, there's no room to grow when you're always comfortable, of course. But, anyways, let's not get sidetracked. So from the age of 9, I joined my first basketball team. Weight was always an issue with me. Like, I'm talking being underweight. I'll pull up a picture right now. I've always been like super skinny. I know I'm still not considered big by any means, but compared to where I was years ago and even compared to 1 year ago, like, the steady progress is something I'm proud of within myself. But yeah, I've always loved basketball. Weight was an issue on the basketball court. I would always get pushed around. I would get bodied easily, especially when I hit my growth spurt throughout middle school. I think the toughest time in athletics for me was early high school years. I played in leagues through elementary school. Middle school, I played for the team. I was always a shooter. So I was like a wing player, spot up shooter. That was what I did. And then when high school came along, I had a huge growth spurt. When I started middle school, I think I was like 5'3". By the time I started freshman year of high school, I was 5'10". By sophomore year, I was 6'2", 6'3", which is where I am right now. I haven't grown since sophomore year. But yeah, dude, that growth spurt, not only did it take a toll on my body because my knees were shot, it took a toll on my game as well. Because, when you're tall, especially if you're not from like a big, well known school, there's not a lot of huge athletes. In my town, if there's like a 6'7" basketball player, they're getting recruited to go play at a higher level school elsewhere. In high school, I was kind of forced to play big man, which, I've always been a shooter. Um, I've never been like a physical basketball player, getting rebounds and protecting the paint wasn't really my thing. I mean, I adjusted to it over the years, but it just wasn't my thing. Started to hate basketball just because, the position I was playing wasn't fun to me. Like Patrick Beverly said, I'm a spoon and they're using me like a fork. That was how I felt throughout my high school career. But anyways, freshman year I didn't even play because my knees were shot from that growth spurt. Dude, I couldn't even squat, I couldn't jump, I couldn't do anything. My knees were so bad that year. Like, I still played for fun, but I went to like a couple conditioning practices and my knees just couldn't handle it. So we fast forward to sophomore year. That's where I'm actually on the team. My knees are feeling better. I'm playing big man. Coach saw the talent in me. Like, I had the starting position from the beginning of this season. This was on junior varsity, by the way. Sophomore year was junior varsity. In practices, I played well. I showed my skills. But when it came to playing the actual game within the offense that we run, I wasn't really allowed to roam outside of the key on offense. It just wasn't my game. I wasn't allowed to be myself. I wasn't allowed to play to my strengths. I understand the system they were trying to run, but it wasn't for me. Anyways, Fast forward like halfway through the season, I break my foot. As much as I've said I wasn't really enjoying basketball that year, it was devastating breaking my foot, dude, because basketball was all I knew. It was my therapy, it was my escape from reality. So it was hard not being able to play for a few months. Um, when it happened, I was just thinking, what was I gonna do? And the thing that I ended up doing was lifting weights. Of course, I was really only able to do upper body. I really had no idea what I was doing in the gym, but I kind of fell in love with it. I would look up videos of what to do. I would follow other people's journeys, and that's what inspired me, which is going to kind of be my goal with this channel because I'm still on a journey myself. I'm nowhere near where I want to be physically. Am I confident in my body? Yes. But do I want more from myself? Absolutely. There's always room for growth. So I'm hoping I could kind of give a similar experience to anyone watching this. If you just need that daily motivation, you could see that I'm always going, going, going. And then you could be like, all right, I better get my ass up and do it too. Because if this guy could do it, anyone can. Anyways, back to the story. I broke my foot, couldn't play basketball, fell in love with lifting weights. Those newbie gains are the best. So I started to see results pretty quick. The process of being on crutches and being in a walking boot was probably about 3 to 4 months. So by the time I healed up, school was pretty much out already. It was the summer. So I got back on the court. I was playing here and there. Even with being healed up, I was still in the weight room, still trying to get stronger. So yeah, I remember sophomore year, entering junior year. That summer was a grind. I was focused. I was ready to have a better season. I wanted to play varsity the next season. I knew I needed to get stronger. I couldn't be getting pushed around anymore. I knew I was the tallest guy there, so I was going to have to man up and play center or not play at all. So when I came back to school junior year, I was still tiny, but people noticed that I had been working out. People were saying I looked bigger. People were saying I looked stronger. People were saying the arms were looking good, which felt amazing. When you've been putting in the hard work and people notice, it's an amazing feeling. Words can't really describe it. You just feel like the man. I'm walking through school with my chest out, even though I was still tiny, but that just shows you how small I was to begin with, that I put on like a couple pounds of muscle, not much at all, because my diet was trash at the time. I didn't know what I was doing with diet. So I didn't really think the results were that crazy, but people noticed, and it was a great feeling. So it gave me a lot of confidence. So it's junior year, tryouts come along, my hard work pays off. I make varsity. Well, I sort of made varsity. Coach was giving me a decision. He was like, look, we got two seniors that play the same position as you. They're going to start the season over you. So you're going to be pretty much our third string big man on varsity. Or you could play JV, have fun, get your minutes, whatever. I was like, no, I want to play with the big dogs. So I was on varsity to start the season. We go to our first tournament. It's up in Big Bear. They got some huge players, bro. I checked into the game for a couple minutes because, like Coach was saying, I'm going to have to earn my minutes. I'm starting the season with pretty much no minutes. So I was surprised to get in there in the first game. But yeah, bro, the guy I was guarding was probably like anywhere between 6'5" to 6'7". He probably had a good 80 pounds on me. I was probably like less than 150 at the time. That guy was at least 200, 220, something like that. So yeah, it was ugly. I fell at one point. I was just getting like obliterated. And the other big men on our team were too, to be fair. But anyways, yeah, there goes my opportunity. I was in the game for like 2 minutes and coach had seen enough. So I get moved down to JV. I only get the chance to play a few games until I tear my groin muscle in practice one day. I remember it. We were doing Romanian deadlifts with dumbbells. And then, me not having much workout knowledge at the time, all I really knew was the machines. I didn't know much about free weights. So when it came to doing the Romanian deadlift, my form was wrong and I tore my groin muscle. There goes my junior year. Pissed. So at that point, that injury didn't take too long to heal from, but I was just feeling defeated. So I didn't even go back and finish the season. Um, I figured I want to try something different, so I tried track. They put me as a long distance runner and I just hated it. Like running on the treadmill. Our practice was running on the treadmill for like an hour and it was so boring, like I couldn't stand it. So I just stopped going to practice for that and I was like, yeah, dude, I pretty much just give up on high school sports. So junior year ends. I can't remember how consistent I was with lifting weights at the time, but I know I was getting it in here and there. But entering senior year, I did pretty much look the same as I did entering junior year. But senior year, I was dead set on not playing any sports. I was like, I'm gonna take some college classes, get ahead in college, which I did. And then I played in a league for basketball. I played in a 17, 18-year-old league, I think it was, and it was fun. I had the time of my life. That was the most fun I've ever had playing basketball, was in that league. I had a few triple doubles. I was playing the best I've ever played. It was fun, just being free, being able to play the position I want, it was fun. And then that was my first time really playing competitive since I started lifting weights. So it was a lot easier to get to the basket. It was a lot easier to get rebounds. I felt like a monster out there. So that goes to show that lifting weights really did make a difference on the court, even though I never really got the chance to use it in a competitive setting. Because the only basketball I played outside of high school was open gym, which was pretty much all against grown men. So being able to play competitive against people my age, it really showed me how much the weightlifting had paid off. Even though, like I said, my results were pretty much minimal at the time, but the little bit of gains that I did get made a huge difference. So we're in about early March of 2020 now. We win the championship of that league, and then this is like right when COVID hits. So COVID hits. At this time, I was lifting weights, but basketball was still my top priority. And I remember one morning I'm in the gym. I remember this vividly. I was doing shoulder presses. I was feeling myself, headphones in. I don't remember how much weight I was doing, but I was hitting my shoulder presses, and then someone taps me on the shoulder. So I drop the weights, turn around. It's a gym manager, and he's like, "Hey, big dog, you got to go." I look around, nobody's in the gym anymore. I'm like, "What happened?" He's like, "Oh, there's a COVID outbreak. We're closing." I was like, "Well, how long are we closing for?" He was like, "We're shooting for like 2 weeks." We all know how that went. At that time, they closed my high school, which was supposed to be for a week. Ended up never going back to high school. So, yeah, there was really no way to play basketball at that point because the gym I went to had a basketball court. We weren't really allowed out at parks because we all remember how strict the lockdown was. What I would do to stay active was just go on runs. But if you remember what I said from why I didn't like track, I hate like long distance running. I just hate it. It's so boring to me. So what we ended up doing was my family and I we invested in just some simple stuff like a bench, some dumbbells, a rack, a bar, and we put a little bit of a home setup in the garage. Now this was where I had nothing better to do, so I went like all in on learning how to actually put together a good workout program. And boy, did I grind that year, dude. I think the gyms didn't open up till like late 2021, I think. So I went hard for like a year in that home gym, and that was the most strength I've ever gained. I benched my first plate on the bench press at the home gym. When I finished high school, I remember I weighed 155, and from just doing the home workouts, I think I got up to like 167. So I probably put on like a good 10 pounds of muscle just from this home gym with nothing crazy, just dumbbells and barbells. That's it. So that just goes to show that you don't need the best equipment to get started. All you need is the right focus and the right drive. As someone that was super skinny trying to gain weight, playing hours of basketball a day made it super hard to gain muscle. And once I was able to let that go because I had no other choice, that was when I really started to see gains. And then, of course, I had more time to research, how many sets of this should I be doing? How many times a week should I train this muscle? So I put in the time, made some sacrifices, and I finally started to see results. And that was where like I really fell in love with it. That was where I was like, okay, this might be something I want to implement in my future. So when I graduated high school, I wanted to go into like film and cameras, do something to do with film. I actually used to do YouTube on this exact same channel. I used to just make vlogs and random stuff. So if you're watching this, you probably remember some of those videos. Yeah, once I saw that change within myself, it was really motivating. I remember now it was early 2021 when the gyms opened back up. And then that was when I got one of my good friends in to work out with me. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't know if he wants to be mentioned or not. But we started working out together. During COVID, a lot of people were out of shape. I mean, it was a normal thing. I'm not bashing anyone that was, but it happened. We were locked in the house for damn near a year, so it happened. So my friend started working out with me. He didn't really have much experience with lifting weight. So I pretty much just walked him through my workout routine with me. We would hit it together every single day for months. I think we started in February or March of 2021. And then I left for college in August of 2021. Different story. In those few months, I think he lost a good 20 pounds. And he learned all the basics of weight training. When he came in working out with me, of course, I was outlifting him on everything because I have the experience. But within weeks, this guy was putting up more weight than me. So he built strength really fast. And I just remember at one point I asked him, "Yo, do you think I would be a good trainer?" And then he was like, "Yeah, bro, absolutely." And then I don't know if he thought much of the conversation, but that stuck with me because I wasn't even thinking about being a trainer. I just randomly threw that question out there. But then once he said, "Yeah, bro, absolutely," it just stuck with me. I was like, "Yo, I think I'm going to try to become a trainer." But my plan was to become a certified trainer and then kind of make training my side hustle while I'm in college until I get my degree. And then I'll go off and do whatever I want to do with business. So I get to college, I move in August, still working out, still making pretty good progress. And I've always had like an entrepreneur mindset. So I had my doubts about college from the beginning. Of course, there's going to be people telling you in your life that, oh, you have to go to college if you want to make money. It's essential, it's a necessity. So I still went, especially since I got such good grades in high school. Got a decent amount of financial aid. So I was like, might as well take advantage of it. So I gave it a try. I went for a semester. It was a decent experience, but with the amount of debt I got in just one semester, and then I wouldn't say I was truly happy. I didn't really find any purpose there. So I left. December, I dropped out. I did one semester on campus, one semester online that I finished before that. And I was like, I'm done. I'm dipping out. So I moved back to my hometown, which is where I'm at now. At this point, I was a certified trainer. I started my course the summer before I moved to college, and I finished in like October. I was like, okay, I'm gonna move home. I'm gonna get a training job, and I'm gonna just stack my bread. And then my goal long term is to own a gym or something. I was like, screw college. I don't need a degree to get into business. I found a lot more useful information about business online through courses of people that have already done it. So if college is what you need for your career goal, that's going to make you happy, by all means, go for it. But for my goals, it just didn't align, which is why I left. But yeah, I moved back in December, immediately started applying for trainer jobs. I applied to 24 Hour Fitness, LA Fitness, Planet Fitness. I think I did hear back from an LA Fitness, but the first job I heard back from was called the Camp Transformation Center. They reached out to me, set up an interview immediately. So I go, I do my interview, and I get hired the same day. I was like, wow, I expected the process to take a little longer than this. So it was like within days that I got hired. I'm very appreciative of that opportunity. I just went in with no experience. All I had was a trainer certification and a CPR certification. That was it. But the owners of where I work believed in me, and they took me in with no experience. So the thing that freaked me out from the beginning, dude, was it's a boot camp gym. So it's large groups. As I mentioned earlier, social anxiety was a part of my life. I wasn't really a people person. My goal was to do personal training one-on-one. So the whole group thing kind of freaked me out. But, I was desperate for a job. I just dropped out of college. I had to do something. So I took the opportunity, of course. And I would say I was pretty bad at it at first. I don't know. Some people might tell you otherwise, but I think my first month or two, I was like really awkward, I guess uncomfortable. I definitely got comfortable pretty quick, but at first I was uncomfortable. I had no idea what I was doing. I was an 18-year-old, training 30 and 40-year-olds with pretty much no experience. So I felt like everyone was looking at me like, yo, how's this guy even a trainer? But as you develop relationships with clients, it just becomes so much more enjoyable. So I stuck through it, throughout all the doubts. I just kept going, kept going. And I appreciate the support of everyone that was around me at the time, because they kept me going, kept giving me constructive criticism. Even clients were like telling me ways to improve because they understood my situation. Once you start to connect with people, they understand and they're there to push you to get better. I still wouldn't say I'm the most social person, but I would say I'm very comfortable now. And I would say I'm very good at my job based on feedback from clients. And then just looking at the improvement, like I look at the workouts I used to write when I started, compare them to what I'm doing now. I could just tell from that it's a huge increase in quality. My workouts have definitely gotten tougher, but more effective, more efficient. Yeah, like I said, I still work there to this day. I still love it. But my long-term goal is to have my own brand. As much as I love and as much as I'm appreciative of the job that I've had, I do want to be a business owner. So what I did in March of this year was I built a personal training studio in my garage. It was a huge investment. It costed like pretty much my life savings to put into that, but I definitely think it was worth it. Running my own small business, it has gotten overwhelming at times. I wanted to do it fully legal, so getting the business license, making sure I'm doing my taxes right. I learned all of that on my own. It's tough, it's stressful, but if you want something, you got to go after it and get it. It's not going to be handed to you. Personal training studio, I have a decent clientele. I'd like to be able to make that a full-time thing, which is why I'm constantly taking business courses about marketing, advertising, etc. Just trying to better myself. And then, the more people I could reach, the more people I could help, which is the goal at the end of the day, just helping as many people as possible. But I love one-on-one training. I love group training too, but I definitely love one-on-one just because you could build a connection with the client. You could be on top of them more. You just feel like more of a part of their journey when it's just you and them, just one-on-one. And I love that feeling. I love being able to help improve someone's life on a day-to-day basis. I've always felt like my purpose in life was to help as many people as possible, always, but I just didn't know how. But now that I see that fitness is my passion, and I feel like my purpose is to help people. You tie them together, boom, trainer. So yeah, this is where I'm at now. Um, I have my own company, Fearless Fitness, which is just a private training studio, but I plan to expand it, make it a lot bigger. My next goal is to launch some badass online fitness courses. Launching online courses is important to me because I could reach and help even more people across the world, regardless of where you're at. You could access my content, my nutrition advice, my workouts, which I feel like are unique from all the other trainers out there. I know there's so many trainers to choose from, and everyone has their own thing to offer. And I respect it. Every time I work or speak with another trainer, I learn something new. My motto, what I feel like makes me unique, is that I try to make it such an enjoyable process. I feel like the key of getting someone to reach their goals and stay consistent is to make it something that's enjoyable. You're more likely to get up and stick to something every single day if you enjoy doing it, rather than waking up and being like, man, I gotta go to the gym today. I don't want to go. My goal is to have clients wake up and be like, oh, let's see what kind of fun workout coach put together for us today. And it's still a workout that's going to kick your ass. Don't get me wrong. Just try to make it as fun, as interesting, and as unpredictable as possible. I feel like that's what keeps people going, just finding the joy in it. Even with nutrition, losing and gaining weight is all just a numbers thing. You don't have to completely give up the foods you love. You probably just have to cut back, but you could still enjoy the foods you love in moderation. As long as you're in a calorie deficit if you're trying to lose weight, or a calorie surplus if you're trying to gain weight, you're going to hit your goals. Regardless of if you have 2 Oreos a day or not, it's about where your numbers are at the end of the day. So I try to teach that to people to get them to enjoy the nutrition process as well. Like, you don't have to absolutely despise your diet. Sustainability is something that I feel is very important. I hate coaches or gyms or whatever that give people crash diets. It's so bad for your metabolism, so bad for your mental health. Because yes, if you're on a crash diet, which is like an extreme weight loss diet where it's super low in calories, or maybe it's keto where you're cutting out an essential nutrient, you're going to drop weight fast. You're going to be like, oh my God, this is great. I lost 20 pounds in a month. The saying, too good to be true, that's what crash diets are. Once you get back to a normal diet, because those diets aren't normal, they're not sustainable. You can't do keto forever. Your body needs carbs to survive. So once you get back to your normal diet, you're going to gain the weight right back. And that's what makes people feel like, nothing works for them. When I give someone a diet, I think about, is this diet going to work for them long term? Like, is this something you could stay on forever? And if the answer is no, then you shouldn't be giving it to them. Because once they stop that diet and go back to their old habits, the weight's going to come right back. So I definitely think nutrition is taught wrong a lot in the fitness industry. So I have 5 new online training courses launching next month. If you'd like to learn more about fitness and nutrition from me, feel free to message me on Instagram at trainingwithvg. Link is in the description. I'll send you some free nutrition guides. Very soon the link will go up to apply for those courses, and hopefully we could get you into those programs to change your outlook on nutrition, get you on an enjoyable workout routine, and help you hit your goals in the most realistic way possible. A lot of people define their success by how much money they have, or what kind of house they live in, how many cars they have. I define my success by how many people I'm able to help. I'm going to be looking back at my lifetime, count every single person that I was able to help. And, that number is the scale of success for me. The goal is to have as many as possible, change as many lives as I can. So thank you for your time, for listening to my story. Hopefully it resonated with you in some way. I know my story is unique, so it's not going to be the same story as everyone else's. I hope that it was inspiring to you in some way. I hope it helps you see the human side of me, not just the trainer side of me, that I was there once before too. Someone that was out of shape, just trying to gain more confidence in themselves. Whether you're on the opposite end of the spectrum that I was, if you're someone that's trying to lose weight, we still all have the same feelings. We just want confidence in our body. That's all. We just want to be happy. We just want to look in the mirror and be happy with what we see. So I'm here to help as many people as possible experience that feeling that I felt, go through that change that I made. More fitness related videos will be coming soon, so be on the lookout. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe, drop a like, comment any feedback, questions, concerns, anything you'd like to talk about, drop it below in the comment section. Thank you so much for your time. It means the world to me. Hope you all have a great day.